Let's jump into problem 19.3a. We're going to do a lease amortization schedule. So the first few journal entries and figure our way through this lease. Chilcotin Freight is a regional trucking company and it leased a highway tractor on the following terms. And the first question is saying, show that this is a finance lease. As I show that I know how to find my pen. So, okay, we're going to show that it's a finance lease. So what are we on the lookout for? Is there a change in ownership at the end of this thing? Is there a bargain purchase that essentially makes there to be a change of ownership? Is it leased for more than 75% of the economic life of the asset? Are the present value of the lease payments more than 90% of the fair value of the asset? And finally, is there any alternative use at the end of the lease, or is it such a unique bespoke product that it can't really be returned for the lessor, and therefore, constitutes essentially a purchase. So it's a highway tractor, January 1st, 2031. It's a 7-year lease, and I'm already looking ahead going, well, 7 years on a 10-year economic life, that's 70%, so it doesn't clear that bar, the 75% bar. The annual payment's $25,000. Payments are due January 1st, so just looking at this on a number line here, we got time zero. We start paying at time zero. We pay, $25K, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, 6 year, 7. So $25K year 1, $25K time 2, $25K, just drawing a number line of this. There's 7 payments, time 3, time 4, time 5, time 6. That's when we're making our payments, and we're owning this for 7 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, we're owning it for 7 years, but our first payment happens at time 0. So for our PV calculations, which we'll be inevitably doing, these things need to be present valued back to this time. This one does not need a present value because it's happening on day 1, which is typical of leases. Okay, so we've gone through the first bunch of these, but we still haven't established that it's a finance lease. We're actually going to need to do the present value here and figure out if the present value of all the payments is greater than the fair, or not greater than 90% of the fair value of the tractor. Let's do some quick math here. What's 90% of this? 160 times 0.9. That can't be right. 160 times 0.9. So it's 144K. So if the present value of these $25,000 future cash flows is greater than $144,000, we've got a finance lease. And I think we're going to have that situation here. So what's our discount rate? 6%. So this is the present value of an annuity stuff. I'm going to do it by hand, the old-fashioned way. If you have a financial calculator, this shouldn't be hard for you to do at this point in your intermediate accounting class. But here we go. Present value equals the amount of the payments times 1 minus 1 over 1 plus r to the n, or to the t, I guess. Well, n or the t. 1 plus r to the t divided by r being our discount rate, t being the number of periods. Now remember, we're only discounting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 future cash flows, even though there's 7 payments, because the last payment we just add at the end, because this is, again, an annuity due. We're making the first payment at the start. So PMT is 160K. Is that right? No, PMT is 25K. What am I saying? And that's the fair value is 160. 1 minus 1 over 1 plus r to the t, 1.06 to the power of 6. All divided by 0.06. Whew. All right, this is easier to do than the way I'm making it sound here. 1.06 to the power of 6 is 1.4. Divide 1 by that, so I use the 1 over x button on my calculator. I get 0.7. 1 minus that number, I put this in as negative, plus 1. 0.29 is the numerator, divide by 0.06, my denominator. I get 4.9. I'm going to multiply that by 25K, and I get 122,933. I should have made that. I'm going to just multiply this by 1,000. I multiplied by 25. I should have multiplied by 25,000. 122,933. 122,933. 933. So the value of this stuff is 122,933, the present value of that. But the present value of the first payment, which I do have to make, is 25,000. So let's just add those two sort of cash flow streams together, the 25,000 plus 122,933, and we land at 147,933. Okay, so the present value of our future payments is 147. Well, 90% of this is 144. Another way of looking at it is if I divide this by 160, you can see it's 92%. So show why this is a finance lease. PV of payments is 92.5% of fair value, which of course is greater than 90%, which is our threshold. Okay. So there you go. Now it says calculate the initial lease liability and right of use asset. Good news, we've done it. This is our initial right of use asset, 147, the present value of the future payments. This is the initial lease liability, 122,933. I think it takes shape when we do our first entry or entries. Let's go ahead and do our first entry. We're going to debit, of course, right of use asset. For the present value of all the payments plus including the 25 grand, the initial one. So it's 147,933. We're going to credit, we can do this in one step or two. I'm going to do it in one step here. Credit cash for the first payment of 25 grand. And we're going to credit lease liability, lease liab for the difference there, which is 122,933. This was January 1st. Okay, so we're off to a flying start. Let's continue. It says prepare, so calculate the lease liability and right of use asset. Now it says do a lease amortization schedule. This one's a little quirky in the layout. The initial balance before we even make our first payment is 147,933, but then we immediately make a payment of 25,000. There's no interest on that first payment because it happens at time 0. So we reduce our liability by 25, 147,933 minus 25,000, 122,933. So on January 1st, after having done that first transaction, we have a lease liability of 122,933. We have a lease asset of 147,933. Everything is kind of as it should be. Let's continue on to the second payment. A year later, we make a $25,000 payment. There is interest. We had a liability of 122,933. It accrues interest at a rate of 6%, 73.76 in interest. So of that 25 grand payment, 73.76 pays off interest. So 17,624 pays off to reduce the liability. So I had 122,933. I just reduced my liability by 17,624. My liability is now 105,309. And again, we just make this fixed payment of 25 grand. This time the interest is a little lower, 105,309 times 6%. 63, we'll call it 63.19. So I paid 25 grand, 6,300 went to cover interest, 18,681 goes to reduce the debt. My debt was 105,309 minus 18,681, 86,628. And what we would do is continue on here, right? I trust that you could do another 3 years of this, but I just don't want it to, the question to be something you could do in an Excel sheet in 10 seconds. So it would go down to 0 after the lease term of 7 years is up. So I guess that would be Jan 1, 2037. And that's where we would expect to end up. So it says prepare a lease amortization schedule for the first 3 payments, which we've done. Those are the first 3 payments. Then it says prepare all of the journal entries for January 1st, 2031 through January 1st, 2032. We did January 1st, 2031. Let's go ahead and do all the rest. So the next relevant date here is December 31st, 2031. And why is that a relevant date? Well, the reason that's a relevant date is because it's a fiscal year end. So we have to do interest accrual. We have to do depreciation. Let's start with depreciation. We have a $147,000 asset. It's going to depreciate over the term of the lease, not the remaining economic life, because we're getting rid of this at the end of this. Just the term of the lease. So 147,933 divided by 7 years, 21,133 is our depreciation expense. So debit.
Quick comment for US GAAP users. You're going to debit not depreciation expense, you'll debit amortization expense. And you'll either credit accumulated amortization or just credit the asset directly, depending on what your textbook does. In the videos, I use depreciation expense. That's the common thing under IFRS and Canadian GAAP. But you want to use amortization expense. Okay, back to the video.
Depreciation expense. Now there's no residual value, nothing accruing to us. So 21,133 and credit AD 21,133. What about the interest? Well, also on December 31st, 2031, we've said interest is 73.76 for the year 2031. Again, December 31st, 2031 at midnight. January 1st, 2032 at 12:01 a.m. Same interest. So debit interest expense 73.76. We credit lease liability here. Canadians will call this a lease obligation. 73.76. Next day, January 1st, 2032, we make a payment. We credit cash for 25 grand, and the debit is just to lease liability, 25 grand. And I do like to double check and say, is the lease liability where I think it should be? So it started at 122,933, right? That initial credit. Then we just increased it by 73.76, the interest, 73.76. Then we decreased it by the cash payment, the 25 grand minus 25,000. And I think as of January 1st, 2032, I should have a lease obligation of 105,309. And sure enough, I do. Everything is as it should be. We've completed 19.3A. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. The next video in our series is right up here, and if you want a supercut of all of the videos in this series, that's the one down below.